At 4:30 this morning, Mexican special forces closed in on one of El Chapo's houses in the city of Los Mochis, in his home state of Sinaloa.
Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán. This name still brings nightmares to the citizens of Mexico and the underworld drug cartels, years after he was put behind bars. Though the Mexican drug lord has escaped 2 other prisons in his lifetime, his current life at one of America's most secure prisons has been nothing short of miserable. But according to some shocking reports, the heinous drug kingpin has been threatening the guards at this prison too. Sit tight, as today we'll be talking a little about El Chapo and the latest trouble he has gotten himself into. El Chapo generally needs no introduction to anybody who's even closely familiar with the world of crime. In January 2016, after another nationwide hunt for the kingpin, El Chapo was finally captured for the 3rd time after a raid by the Mexican Navy in the coastal city of Los Mochis in Sinaloa. Though the raid turned bloody, resulting in the death of 5 gunmen, the Mexican officials were happy with the capture of Guzmán. The man was sent back to the Altiplano prison, where he was brutally tortured by the prison guards. Soon enough, he was extradited to the US, where he was tried and found guilty on 10 counts and sentenced to life plus 30 years in prison. In July 2019, El Chapo was moved to his current residence, the Administrative Maximum Facility, or ADX, in Florence, Colorado, which is the USA's highest security prison and only used for criminals capable of extreme violence. Before we dig into El Chapo's life at the prison in America, make sure to like this video and consider subscribing to the channel to never miss out on entertaining uploads like this one. With that said, let's see if El Chapo has any chance of escaping his latest prison. El Chapo is now restrained to his cell for 23 hours a day. No one has ever escaped the ADX Florence, which can be attributed to its impenetrable design and strict measures. This, however, is completely different from what El Chapo was used to during his prison time in Mexico. In Mexico, the prison guards would hardly earn $1,000 a month, so the guards took advantage of the internal prison market to earn some cash. Moreover, the guards in Mexican prisons would also be under immense threat from the cartels themselves, so in order to protect themselves and their families, the guards would have to obey the prisoners behind the bars. However, going by recent reports, there could be a possibility that El Chapo is not done yet. During his time in the Altiplano prison, El Chapo bribed the prison guards and workers to let him have contact with visitors, have prostitutes over, and even have recreational time and preferential treatment. This was how the man grew his cartel with the help of his brother, even though he was stuck inside the prison. Although El Chapo cannot have people visit him in the ADX Florence prison, it's not surprising if he pays the guards off to let him have extra recreational time or other facilities. The ADX Florence is so tight that prisoners only get 1 hour out of their prison cells, which are made from solid concrete and stone. The cells are also soundproof, so the inmates have no contact with other inmates whatsoever. The inmates also have no clue about which part of the prison they're in, and hence it's not possible for them to inform their associates outside about their location. It's reported that the cells also have 2 metal doors to establish a sense of helplessness among the prisoners. Despite all of these security measures in place at ADX Florence, we must remember that this is El Chapo that we're dealing with. Having been known to negotiate his way out of prisons, there's no winning when El Chapo is cutting you a deal. You either accept his money and let him have his way, or he threatens you with your family's life. This just goes on to prove a major flaw in the prison system across the world, which is the lack of security for the prison guards themselves. Although this isn't a major issue in the USA, this is a huge problem in the overcrowded prisons of Mexico, where rival cartels also split and conquered the prisons from the inside. It was also reported that Altiplano, the very prison that El Chapo managed to escape from twice, was running at 33% past its maximum capacity. This is a shockingly high number for a maximum security prison, but is an unfortunate reality for prisons in Mexico. We can only imagine what being threatened by one of Mexico's most lethal and powerful drug cartel leaders would feel like. It definitely is scary to think about all the ways the drug lord could use to establish his influence inside the prison.